Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. I feel like this week is going by quickly, but slowly at the same time because I'm kind of amazed that it's only Tuesday. It kind of feels like a Thursday to me, but I just know it's going to blow by anyway. How are you guys doing? Did you guys have a great Monday evening? Did you guys get up to anything exciting? We've got quite a bit to discuss in today's episode of the Morning Report. And one thing I have to mention, you guys, is that I've noticed that since I've come back from Canada, I have completely been forgetting to do that like big itinerary for you guys that lists all of the episodes and whatnot. Sorry, I still haven't found my rhythm in all of that, but I definitely want to get back to doing that. I think it's very much helpful, and I'm looking forward to getting that guide prepared for you guys for the next episode of the Morning Report. So happy to have y'all here. I want to take a look and welcome you guys to the show. We've got Gala here per usual. Good morning. Good morning, Renee, as well. Good morning to Venetia, Ronnie, Cami, Kahara, Little Miss Fluffy, Jenny, Acacia, Alexa, Ashley, Shelby, Kristen, Deanne. We've got, is this another? No, this is our same Ashley girl here. Ashley's assemble. If there's any Ashleys in the bushes, you know what to do. Wasn't it so sad, Ashley? I was really, really blindsided by the news as well. Good morning, Deshauna. Good morning, Tamara. I got it right this time. I don't know why, but typically I would want to say Tamara for whatever reason. But good morning, Tamara. Good morning, Castle Magic. Good morning, Eliana, Jody, Autumn, Lasbury. So nice to have y'all here. Good morning to those of you in the bushes. Good morning to my playback posse. Good morning, Minnie. I haven't seen you in a while. How's everything going on your end? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Autumn Lasbury, are you British? Because your name is very much giving British. It's definitely giving tea and crumpets. I'm so happy to hear that, Autumn. Thank you. So glad to have you here with us for the Morning Report. Welcome to our new friend. Guys, like I said, we do have quite a bit to discuss in today's show. Of course, we got to talk about the sad news about Barbara Evans being hospitalized after suffering a stroke. I do have an update on how she's doing right now, who she's currently being surrounded by as she recovers. Donald Trump has also officially announced that Diddy did ask him for a presidential pardon. I've got a video of him saying that. We're also going to talk about Cheyenne Floyd. She just had her baby shower. I remember her like announcing her pregnancy, but it feels like she announced her pregnancy a million years ago. So to hear that she's still pregnant, I don't know why, but like it had me looking at my watch, like really, what time is it? Hasn't it been like 2 years? Like how long does it take to be pregnant? I thought people were typically pregnant for like 9 months or something like that, give or take. But I guess they just announced super early, or maybe I am, losing track of time because I do have a bad track record when it comes to time. I really don't know how to, look at time relatively, right? Everything in my head was like 2 years ago. Even if it was like 10, 20 years ago, it's 2 years ago in my head. And lastly, we're going to be talking about the Love is Blind star who has been receiving a lot of very brutal DEATH threats based off of how things went down on the show. And she's begging for viewers of the show to stop threatening her. She says, listen, I've got cats to live for. My cats need their mom. Please do not harm me. I think it's really sad that people take these reality shows so seriously that they would go as far as to issue literal threats on people's lives. It's absolutely amazing, but in the worst way possible. I mean that in a derogatory way. Good morning, Emily. So nice to see you coming up from the Playback Posse. I do remember you as one of my live chat viewers as well, too. So it's so nice to have like the duo of you, the duality of Emily here on the chat. So nice to have you here. Guys, why don't we jump into the stories, okay? So for our first story, like I told y'all, Donald Trump has gone on the record to say that Diddy, or as my friend Kempire likes to say, the Diddler, has officially asked him for a presidential pardon. Go ahead, take a look at this video. Let me know what you think in the live chat if you're watching live, or in the comment section if you're part of my playback posse.
I will speak to the DOJ.
Why would she be a candidate for clemency, sir?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to speak to the DOJ. I'll look at it. I have a lot of people who have asked me for pardons. I call him Puff Daddy has asked me for a pardon.
But she was convicted of child sex trafficking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to take a look at it. I'd have to ask DOJ. I didn't know they rejected it. I didn't know she was even asking for it, frankly.
There you go, you guys. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this came up in a conversation about another celebrity offender. I believe they were talking about Ghislaine Maxwell and how her attempt at parole plea or whatever was turned down. And then Trump decided to bring up Diddy and talk about how Diddy also asked him for some sort of a presidential pardon. He didn't provide any sort of indication that it was something that he would seriously look into. And this is not the first time that he's talked about it as well, right? So in the past, he has talked about the possibility of potentially pardoning or not pardoning Diddy. He did mention that he felt as though Diddy had said some things that were rather negative towards him. So I'm not exactly sure. One thing about Donald is I think he will show up and show out for his friends, and everybody else can get lost, right, as far as he is concerned. And so if he really does look into it and find that Diddy said some disparaging things about him, I do not think that he is going to pardon him, right? And it's just disgusting and sad that that is the way that he even looks at pardons in the first place. I think pardons should be based off of, either whether you think that the person was unjustly convicted, maybe that you don't think that they actually committed the crime or whatever, or maybe you think that the punishment did not fit the crime, or also maybe you think that the person has actually changed, right? And none of those conditions, in my opinion, are present in the Diddy case. So I really do hope that Donald Trump is not actually basing his pardons off of such, foolish circumstances, but I wouldn't be surprised if that were indeed the case. I really hate that presidential pardons even seem to be that easy to come across these days. It really should not be that way. Cammy says, yeah, it seems like Cheyenne's been pregnant forever. Right? I'm telling you, like maybe she announced as soon as she peed on that stick or something, because she announced really early for us to be feeling this way. It truly feels like a 2-year pregnancy. Good morning, Mocha Madness. So nice to have you, boo. When he says, I doubt he will. No one wants Diddy out. He has nothing to gain by pardoning him. Listen, I sure hope you're right. But, with this guy, he really is a wild card. I feel like we never know exactly what it is that he's going to do. And that's the scary part about him, to be honest with you. Maybe he wants to be cool, and so he thinks that this will make him cool, even though nobody really likes Diddy right now, as you so aptly put it, right? But I really truly hope that that is the case, and that Diddy is going to have to serve his time. The judge didn't serve him to all that much time. He will also be credited for the 13 months, I believe, that he's already served. So he's really not going to be in jail or prison for that much longer. So I really truly would hope that he does not pardon him, right? For example, when it comes to the Chrisleys, like they were facing some serious time. Todd, I think he was looking at 12 years or something like that, right? So I understand, unfortunately, why Trump would go and bail out his buddies, especially after the way that Savannah was really, truly campaigning for Trump and everything. I think he kind of felt like he owed her and her family something like that. I get, but with Diddy, I don't think it's the case. However, though, do you guys think that that could be a possibility that Diddy's sons kind of go the MAGA route in order to kind of get him out? Like, do you see them kind of hitting the podcast circuit, the speaking circuit with the red hats and whatnot, trying to pander to Trump in order to get their father pardoned? I think that would be very short-sighted of them. Just let your daddy do his 2-3 years or whatever, and it'll go by quickly before you even know it. Good morning, Gwen. So nice to see you. What a beautiful day. Speaking of a beautiful day, here in Paris, it's only 15 degrees. However, it was a beautiful, beautiful sunny day. We had lunch. I had lunch with a friend at Jardins du Palais Royal, and it was just so beautiful, so sunny. The flowers were in full bloom. The birds were chirping. The park was just so filled with people, so excited and so happy to be soaking in the beautiful sun. It has been gloomy. It has been cold. It has been rainy for quite a while. So being able to have that sunlight come back has been just such a joy to us. I believe it's also going to be another sunny day tomorrow. So y'all know that's what I'm doing tomorrow too. Maybe I will be at Jardin du Palais Royal specifically tomorrow, but I will be outside enjoying my lunch in the sun. Winnie says, if the one thing everyone across the political spectrum agrees on, Diddy is awful and belongs behind bars. Mic drop. I agree. Trump, Trump, Trump. Please, please, please do not bail this guy out. Again, he's not serving any real time. He can put his head down, get through it. We all know he's going to be let out early for good behavior. So what's the point, right? Autumn said, it's so sad that there are people who are sitting in jails and prisons for petty crimes, but people like the diddler can get out. That sadly wouldn't shock me at this point. And I agree, right? There are people who are in there for 5, 10, 15 years for stealing a loaf of bread or whatever, right? Meanwhile, or maybe some marijuana charges or something, right? Meanwhile, Diddy, look at all the things he's done over 30 years, the amount of deaths he's even been connected to throughout his career. And this is all he's sentenced to. He's beating people, transporting people across state lines for restitution, like forcing people into free, like, what is this, right? It's absolutely sad, sick, and pathetic. And I really, really hate to see it. Jody says, Diddy is doing anything he possibly can to get out. He needs to stay in and do his time. Exactly. He didn't get long enough. Exactly. And he's already done about 13 months out of this little 4 or 5 years he's got. Then they always get out on good behavior. Just put your head down and get out. I do think he has also filed paperwork to try to get transferred. He's right now in MDNY, but he wants to go to New Jersey. Apparently their rug program is a little bit better in New Jersey. So I think he's still battling his addiction or something, which is interesting to me because I believe he's got homes in New York. I've never heard about him having homes in New Jersey. So I did think that logistically speaking, New York would be easier for Diddy, but I guess I was wrong. And yes, Diddy's son. One of Diddy's sons is indeed Cheyenne's daughter's godfather. And I'm actually still so curious about how she even got involved in that circle, right? I know that she puts her daughter, Ryder, in the same private school as all of these like celebrity children, including the twins that Diddy has, Delilah and not Chance, but the other one, Jessie. But I'm kind of curious about her own relationship. It's Justin, I believe. I think Justin or Quincy is the godfather of Ryder. Deshauna says the weather just changed here in Kansas, so it's cloudy. Ooh, Toto, you're not in Kansas anymore. It's cloudy now. I didn't know you were in Kansas, Deshauna. Oh my God, what's it like in Kansas? You know, I don't really hear from people in Kansas too often, so this is so cool. What are y'all known for in Kansas? Are you guys the ones with the cheese? You know, besides the Wizard of Oz, is it cheese, I think? Jamie says, I don't think he will, not with that long of time. Exactly. It's truly, truly nothing. Honestly, I feel like the amount of paperwork that goes into these things probably takes longer than the sentence actually even was, right? So please, whatever. Get him out of here. Lock him up. Good morning, Kristen. So nice to see you. Oh, we love a good deep clean. Yes. Happy cleaning, Kristen, and have a great day. Good morning, Mary Duda. So nice to have you here. And Shelby, I agree, unfortunately. It's rich for you. Unfortunately, what Diddy did is probably normal to the elite. And, you know, Suge Knight has actually spoken about that. He said, listen, anybody else would have gotten a lot more time and nobody else would have been able to put out some sort of like PR campaign, like the personalized videos, all that weird stuff that Diddy and his family were able to present to a judge and whatnot. So, you know, he's calling it out too from behind bars. Miss Fluffy says, I'd be terrified if I were one of the people who testified. How disappointing. Same here, you know, and once again, like Cassie is the ultimate hero for putting it all on the line, you know, sharing, exposing every intimate, like just horrific, gory detail about what she went through with this man in order to save herself and save other people as well. She truly, truly is just an incredible, powerful, strong, brave woman. Now, speaking of incredible, powerful, strong, brave women, we have to talk about Teen Mom 2 star Barbara Evans. I don't know why, but in my head, her middle name is Lorraine. Does anybody know Barbara's real middle name? Because I'm ready to call her Barbara Lorraine Evans, right? Doesn't that Doesn't that just kind of like give her, like, it gives the Barbara vibe to me anyway, right? Or maybe Barbara Marguerite Evans. I don't know. But these are the names that are coming to me. Gertrude, perhaps? I don't know. So anyway, Barbara, unfortunately, was recently hospitalized after suffering from a stroke. TMZ broke the news, but it was the U.S. Sun that had more details about what exactly it is that went down. Okay, so TMZ sources told them that Barbara suffered a stroke last week and was hospitalized, but has since been released or discharged from the hospital. And she's currently at home recovering, and she is expected to make a full recovery as well. So thank God she still has her faculties. And like I said, although TMZ is the one that broke the story, the U.S. Sun has been able to kind of color in the story and help fill in the missing pieces. So the U.S. Sun, by contrast, has a source that told them, and I quote, Barbara was taken to the hospital on Friday. Jace wasn't with her when it happened. Janelle is now in North Carolina too, though, and it's unclear if she was there for Barbara. I do believe that she went there for Barbara. And it's a little bit ironic, like, hearing about this now, because like one of my channel members said earlier, she was watching my channel member video that I put out, I think yesterday or the day before, from Janelle's book. And in that chapter that we were reading, it was a chapter where Barbara was freaking out because she had these cysts or something, or abscess on her body, and she would need to get surgery for it. And like, it was this whole thing that sent Janelle into a spiral, thinking about the mortality of her mother and how that would impact her son, because, you know, at the time her mother had custody of Jace. And Barbara was like, okay, I mean, Janelle was like, well, if her health is deteriorating and she's getting older, like, what's going to happen to my son, you know, if anything were to happen to Barbara? And it's just incredible to even just think about how that's where they were at like 16 years ago. And here we are 16 years later, you know, and Barbara is suffering from health issues, and she still is raising Janelle's son for her as well. You know, Janelle did attempt to raise her son on her own, but that just did not work out. And he was since sent to live back with Barbara again. So there is also an update about Janelle's sister, Ashley. So Ashley did also go to North Carolina to be with her mother, Barbara, as well. And once she saw that Barbara was doing okay and that she was in a stable condition, Ashley returned to go back home to her own family. And apparently Jace is the one at home caring for Barbara at this time. And so if you guys are particularly nosy, the U.S. Sun wants for you to know that Barbara was hospitalized in Southport, North Carolina. And it was her friend who drove her to the hospital when she suffered the stroke. She was not sent there by ambulance. And I kind of wondered, is that a cost thing? Because I know that like ambulance rides and just medical stuff in general are kind of like expensive and tricky in the US. So that did kind of make me wonder about that. Like, maybe you guys, my American co-reporters, can help me kind of understand why that is, that somebody who's suffering a stroke would go to the hospital by car rather than by ambulance. Or maybe she didn't even know she was having a stroke. Maybe she just felt like she was feeling weird, right? And said, hey, listen, like something's not feeling right. Drive me to the hospital, right? Something like that could have happened. Listen, I want to get into you guys' comments, but I have to say something, and it might sound weird, but I hope that at least one other person thought this too. Okay, so let me go ahead and say it. When I heard this news about Barbara tragically suffering from a stroke, one of the first things that came to my mind is, ooh, Janelle is probably so jealous. Janelle fantasizes about like really, truly being ill. You remember 2 years ago, I was minding my own business, scrolling through TikTok lives when I stumbled upon Janelle's TikTok live. And she was claiming that the doctor told her within 48 hours, she was going to be permanently paralyzed in a wheelchair. And she sounded so excited, right? And she's constantly going to these like hospitals and these doctors trying to like find out. And by the way, let me open up the phone lines in case you guys want to share your own opinions about this situation. But, you know, she's just been dying to have a diagnosis. And now you got Barbara. Barbara's got your son, and she's got real health problems. You know, like, isn't that crazy that even came to my mind? But I do think it's true. Do you guys think it's true? Janelle really wants to have something like real, you know? So I don't know, but that's definitely what I thought. Thanks, FBI SUV. Oh, Lord. I just love chatting with you guys so much. And thank you, Megan. Oh, look at this cute little doggy. Kansas is known for bread. Wisconsin is known for cheese. Well, that is so fun. Thank you so much for filling me in because I had no freaking idea. What kind of bread y'all do in Kansas? I know you have the Chiefs too, right? That's that football team. That's who Travis Kelce plays for, if I'm correct. Okay, this is so exciting. So freaking exciting. So now, guys, let's see what y'all have to say about the Barbara situation. Don't forget, I did put in a StreamYard calling link in case y'all wanted to call in and share your opinions about the Barbara health scare. So Tamara says, I love Barb. Hopefully she recovers quickly. Amen, amen, amen. I'm really happy to hear that she was relatively quickly discharged from the hospital. Remember, this happened on Friday. The article came out on Monday. And in that article, she had already been discharged. So I believe it was a 24 to 48 hour period that she spent in hospital. Jamie says, poor Barbara you've had 3 strokes. And they're not easy to get over. Poor Barb and Jace, it's going to be hard. Jamie, oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that. If I may, can I ask how you've had them so often? That is so scary. 3. Michelle says, hello. YouTube sent me the wrong video from yesterday. Well, I'm sorry you got lost along the way, but I'm glad you're here, boo. Jody says Janelle has a court hearing to fight for Ensley. Oh, really? David is actually even trying to get anything to do with Ensley because as far as I was concerned, he didn't look back when he left the house and started squatting on the boat, then eventually moved in with Kenley. By the way, speaking of David Easton, did y'all even hear any news or updates about him actually moving out post restraining order? Because it's kind of been crickets ever since. I'm gonna have to go and take a look into all of that. Clea says, are we forgetting that she was a DV victim and stayed because she was afraid? This is the Cassie story. Sorry, you guys. Shelby says, and Jace is taking care of Barbara. Right. That is such a beautiful thing to hear. I'm really happy that Barbara has Jace and that Jace is stepping up, right? In this moment, Barbara sacrificed her golden years to take care of him. So to hear that he has put it all aside, his troubled, his troubles, I should say, to be there for his grandmother in return is a really beautiful, special thing. And I hope he continues to be, a wonderful pillar for her and, continues to bring her calm. Because again, a lot of the stress and stuff, it does make me worry for Barbara's health at her age. So I really do hope that he continues to be, to be a great grandson, or should I even just say son to her, right? And yes, Storm, I'm so excited to get into that Cheyenne story because she was surfing. She's really, really beautiful. And those photos were absolutely gorgeous. She truly knows how to throw an event. Oh Lord, Kalia says ambulance rides cost $800. Jesus. Can I ask what y'all pay taxes for then? What are the benefits of paying taxes in the U.S.? Just out of curiosity. I'm not trying to start nothing. I'm just curious. What do you get for your tax dollars? Shelby says to go to from worried who will take care of him to him taking care of her is a wild jump. Life happens so fast. Amen. It really does. You truly have to cherish every moment. Take as much care of your health as you can. Everything you eat, the amount of moving and grooving you get to from day to day, please prioritize as much as possible, right? Mary Judah says, thank God for free healthcare. Sorry to the Americans. It really should be free, right? I do not understand the system at all. It makes me so sad for people. Megan says, if I had a stroke, I don't want Janelle coming and raising my I don't want Janelle coming and raising my blood pressure. You know what this reminded me of? There was this episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air where the dad, Philip, he has I think it's a heart attack or something like that, right? And so he's kind of sleeping. I don't know if he's in a coma or something, but he hasn't woken up. And they have him hooked up to the monitor. It's boop, 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 boop. And his daughter aggravates him at this point. They were fighting over something or whatever, or she wanted money because it's Hillary, right? She always wanted a lot of money to go, blah, blah. Bref. So she gets into the hospital. She's coming closer to him and his heart rate is elevating. That made me laugh so hard, Megan. That is absolutely freaking hilarious. Hey, Kate, maybe she didn't know she was having a stroke. Yeah, that's what it kind of seems like, right? It kind of feels I'm feeling weird. Please take me to the hospital. I don't know what it is. I'm conscious enough to talk to you and go there slowly kind of a thing. And again, hearing that this stuff costs money, which is, whoa, especially as much money as it costs here. Wow. Yeah, I could see why she opted to have her friend drive her. So now in Gwen City, a 5-mile ambulance ride costs $375. Jesus. Do they put special gas? Like, what is it? Is it the amount of people you're paying for the people, their time too? Like, what is this? That's so crazy. Ambulance rides are very expensive in the US. I'm trying to think. I can't remember. I've never personally been in an ambulance, so I don't know like what it costs, if it costs anything at all over in Canada. Are my Canadian peeps in here too? Can anyone from Canada let me know, or anybody from Europe, Australia? I want to know about these ambulance rides on a global perspective, right? So A says ambulance rides cost $8,000. Did you accidentally put in an extra zero because somebody else had 800? 8,000. 800 is already bad, but 8,000 would be like jaw-droppingly like shocking, right? Gwen says, but there's a decent chance Barbara didn't know it was just stroke, right? And I have heard that heart attacks and strokes, sometimes people don't even realize that that is what is happening to them in the moment. Autumn says it costs $2,000 for an ambulance. And here I thought you were British, Autumn. Here I thought you were British because I'm like, okay, she's not British then, okay? $2,000? That's insane. Oh my God. Good morning, Chrissy. $500 where she lives. $200,000 where Ronnie lives. What? This is the price of like a house. What is going on, you guys? This is insane. How are people not rioting against this stuff? This is absolutely insane. Jesus. Oh my God. Yeah, you know, Mary, we did a recap yesterday and we were talking about, that's what it feels like, especially war, Gwen, emphasis on war, manufactured wars. It's all just such BS. It pisses me off. Mary Judah, we were talking about RHOP in yesterday's episode, but, you know, long story short, I was just really, really sad about Giselle and Ashley ganging up on Stacy, especially that stuff about her breath and stuff. It wasn't cool. Christy says, ambulance bills in Canada are not free. I got a bill for calling one for my dad who died of a heart attack. I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, Lord have mercy. That is so freaking sad, honestly. You would think that in a situation like that, they would, you know, just write it off or something like that. Alice says, you're better off taking a bus than the ambulance. Oh, my God. FBI says if she's not over 65, she may not have insurance. Most ambulances are private owned. They're private owned. Oh, Lord have mercy. Isn't that crazy? I always thought these were like a state or city, you know, service. So we've got a Canadian chiming in with the price. So I was hearing like in the thousands for some of y'all. And here Tamara from BC says it was $80, you know, compared to the hundreds and thousands that other people are paying in the US. That is so crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me. Thank you guys so much for sharing all of this because, you know, it does give a lot of perspective. And I hope for you guys as Americans as well, it gives you guys a lot of perspectives as to how the price changes from state to state, because it seems as though some states are cheaper than others, right? Jazzy says, I took a ride in an ambulance about 12 years ago and my ride was $8,000. Lord, thank God I was on my mom's good medical insurance. My goodness, all of it is just insane. Lord, I'm knocking on wood that I never have to take an ambulance because all of this sounds crazy. And now we've got an EU perspective from Ramster. Ramster, oh my God, where are you from, my girl? I'm thinking Dutch or German, right? Oh, I hope I'm not wrong. I'm thinking Dutch or German. Ramster says ambulance, but it's mostly German, I believe. I think you're German. Maybe you're German who lives in Netherlands or something like that. Ambulance, I believe, between 300 to 700 euro, if I'm right, unless you have to stay in the hospital. That's crazy to me. I didn't know it was that expensive in Europe as well. It looks like so far Canada has the best prices for ambulances, going at $80 in British Columbia. Shem says, I have good insurance through my spouse's job. However, it really pisses me off, the healthcare system, especially when I know insurance companies like Aetna were founded as slave ship insurers. It's all, and isn't that the one where, you know, Luigi went and, well, no, he didn't, because he was with me when he got framed for this, but when somebody went and, you know, after the CEO of that company, is that the one? It's also sad. And again, aren't you guys funding a country where people get to go to school for free and have free healthcare while you guys don't? Just saying. Good morning, Angie. So nice to have you, boo. Happy Tuesday. FBI says ambulance price decided if there are lights or not. Oh, the lights cost extra. Lord. What do? Did they change the bulbs every time they touch those lights? Jesus. It's crazy to me. I was thinking, okay, maybe like, you know, c'est en fonction de combien de gens. Maybe it's like a question of how many people are there, you know, the ambulance workers or whatever. But wow, they're counting the bulbs too. Crazy. You guys, somebody did have a rather crazy reaction to Barbara's stroke. It was actually really shocking, even for the person in question. And that is none other than not Farrah Evans, Farrah Abraham. Okay. So she really likes to kind of like glue her name to anything that's happening in the teen mom circuit, as much as she says that she's over it and the show, like she's, above the show. Right. So in her Instagram story, she posted this. It was a share of TMZ promoting the article, right? Teen mom star Janelle Evans' mom suffers stroke. And then she shared her comment under that post. And it was it my Farrah roast that did it? Because remember, Farrah's been beefing with Janelle, right? So here's the full comment, by the way. Fire emoji. Let's ask if Bab's horrible mothering and grandma habits played a part. Health is wealth, people. Put mental health number one, unlike the Evans family, which, is really gross, even for Farrah Abraham. Like, I don't understand anything about her comment and what it's supposed to mean. Like, I don't think she's this perfect person either. I don't think she's this perfect parent. So for her to be gloating about this is just really weird and gross overall. And I just do not understand. I do not understand what her goal was in leaving that kind of comment. And she did get dragged in the comment section. People said, this isn't cool, Farrah. Like, shut up. Like, let's talk about you, right? You're talking about people, health is wealth, mental health. Let's talk about you and like, how off you are. Thank you, Ramster. I knew it. I was like, but you speak German though. So I think that's why I thought you were German, boo. I was like, no, I'm German's coming to my mind, but I think it's just a language that she speaks. Shem says, I think when Europeans travel to the USA, y'all should make sure you get the most expensive travel insurance just in case. Amen. Great advice, actually. Can I tell y'all something that's really irresponsible? I don't get travel insurance. I should though. I should, but Lord have mercy, especially if I were to go to the US, definitely would be getting it. And just like you said, Shem, the most expensive possible too. Good morning, Portia. So nice to see you. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're doing well on this beautiful, beautiful day. And it's sunny for you guys too. I really hope. Winnie says her using Barbara's stroke for rage bait was just beyond disgusting. Like, seriously, can't wait for karma to come for her. Exactly. Farrah, this isn't cool. Not cool, not cool, not cool at all. I really hate to see, her stoop to this level. Florida, boo, where have you been? I haven't seen you in a minute. She popped up with a new hairdo. I like this. You look really nice with this haircut. Hang on. I'm trying to zoom in on your picture so I could really see you. I love your hair in this photo. You look absolutely lovely. I haven't seen you in a minute. Nice to see you back. So yeah, you guys, that was Farrah's opinion about Barbara's stroke, which, is as irrelevant as an opinion can get, right? She's just desperate for a headline. And just disappointing, but not surprising when it comes to her. Winnie the Cat also said something in the live chat that I wanted to highlight here. She says that David Eason was served with another restraining order. So what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to search David Eason restraining order, okay? And see, because I know that Canal served him with a restraining order. And I think it's in order to get him to move out of her house finally, but I haven't heard about another one since. Okay, so so we're talking about the same one. So this is about, 8 hours ago, he was arrested for violating the restraining order. What? Hang on. What? No. Okay, no, thank God. That scared me. I thought he'd said that he was arrested. The article, for some reason, was updated 8 hours ago, but it's not a new article. So yes, it is true that David was recently served with a restraining order by Canal. So that is Kenley, the girl that he started dating after his divorce and separation from Janelle Evans. She has her own home. She has her own car. She's got these dogs and everything. She had him move in with her like almost immediately upon dating and whatnot. And that obviously did not turn out well. And thankfully, it looks as though she has been able to get him out potentially thanks to this restraining order. Good morning, Amanda. Nice to see you. And okay, thanks for confirming, Winnie, that we were talking about the same one. Raven says, I have family that lives in Canada and it can take months, even years to get tests. That's true, though. That's the, unfortunately, the true part about like free healthcare is that also like the system can be very much overwhelmed, and you do have to wait months, even years sometimes for a specialist and whatnot, which really, really does suck. So that's true. Listen, it's not all sunshine and daisies, but thank God it's free at least. But it does come with its own problems, right? So I could definitely recognize that. Now, you guys, I do want to take a little bit of a water break. Y'all know how I get parched. So I'm going to take a little bit of a water break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about Cheyenne Floyd Davis and her baby shower. Y'all, she's still pregnant 2 years later. And she actually looked really good. Okay. So she and Zach, I think this baby shower was kind of partly sponsored by Us The Weekly, right? I think it was some sort of a collaboration. We will give you the inside scoop, the exclusive photos from our baby shower in exchange, and an interview as well, and y'all help to fund it. One thing about Cheyenne is Cheyenne wants to live large, and why not, right? She grew up rich. Why not? She wants to still live large, and if you can do it off of somebody else's dime, do it, right? Especially a publication that wants to make money off of you anyway. Like I said, I'm taking a little bit of a water break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about Cheyenne Floyd's baby shower, and then we're going to wrap things up with a Love Is Blind star being the target of several death threats as well. Okay. If you're enjoying today's episode of The Morning Report, please don't forget to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows you enjoy my content, and I will be right back. The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Tired of learning languages in boring, frustrating ways? Try TalkPal. TalkPal is your personal AI language tutor. It teaches you languages in fun, engaging ways. It gives you real-time feedback, assesses your pronunciation, and the learning process is personalized just for you. Join millions of other learners and start your language learning journey today. It is time to talk about Cheyenne Davis's baby shower, okay? Once again, she looked absolutely beautiful, like the decor, herself as well. She carries pregnancy very well, so I'm really happy for her. It looks like she's having a happy, healthy pregnancy. This photo was particularly my favorite one. I think that the cut of her crop top and the skirt and everything just flows really well in this. I really, really, truly love this photo of her. I would have this framed. I would ask if this could be my passport photo because she looks so damn good, you know? So like I said, she and Zach gave an exclusive interview to Us Weekly magazine about their baby shower and some details about their pregnancy, right? So one thing that actually quite surprised me about this whole thing was that they haven't found out the sex of their baby yet. They're keeping it as a surprise. And I think it's because they already have a boy and they already have a girl. So it's kind of just one of those things where they want to, leave it up to a mystery. But here's the thing though. That's what they're telling Us Weekly. And I'm going to read you that exact quote. However, it's not true because we watched how their journey to conceiving played out on the show. And on the show, Zach made it very, very clear that he wanted to have a girl for no reason other than that he wanted to see a female version of himself, right? Not, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to work so hard, provide for my baby girl. No, I want to see what I look like in girl form. Baby, put on a wig. Put on a wig and you're good. It was just the stupidest thing ever. But they're trying to rewrite history here. So stay woke, y'all. Anyway, let's take a look at some of the quotes that they gave to the magazine, okay? The first one Cheyenne said was, I think because we don't know the gender of the baby, we wanted everything to be super gender neutral for the baby shower and earthy and organic and just to feel really natural. I wanted people to walk in and go, oh my God, this is so beautiful. And I think it came to life. I love it. I'm happy. I'm happy with how it turned out and how it looks and how it feels. And listen, again, they did a spectacular job. I think that Cheyenne has a really good, kind of eye for design and beauty. And I think she kind of should do some sort of event company. Isn't this something that she and her friend tried to launch one season on the show before kind of giving up and never actually going all the way through with it? So their baby is due in December. So just a couple months. She's about 7 months pregnant at this point. And Zach said, and I quote, the both of us feel like we have the best of both worlds. We have a boy and we have a girl, and neither of us is looking to have a certain gender. I just think we want a healthy baby at this point. Again, maybe he's grown, but on the show, he made it very, very clear that he wanted to have a girl because he wanted to see what he would look like as a girl, right? Does anybody else remember this? Please tell me I'm not making this up. Surely I'm not making this up. I didn't just wake up and decided to lie on Zach Credit Fraud Davis, did I? Oh, let's see what y'all have to say about this. Only 7 doesn't what? Right? Mary Judith says, I'm not shocked he wants to have his own daughter, right? She also loves Cheyenne's outfit. Really, really, really beautiful. As for Corey, listen, Corey's going through his own thing. It seems like he and Taylor are kind of separated, or, well, they're not married to even be separated, but they might be going through a rough time, like a breakup or something like that. And like Kalia says, his own daughter is going through health issues. He was recently posting about her going through another heart operation. I think it was her third heart surgery or something like that. So she must be recovering and whatnot. And he's probably there helping her through her recovery, right? Which is very difficult, I imagine, as a parent, to watch your child who's so young, so little, have to go through so many major surgeries, right? Cheyenne said, I keep asking Ryder, what do you want, a brother or a sister? And she goes, I just want a baby. And I think that either way, the kids are going to be really happy, which is a really nice thing to hear, right? And so apparently Jade Klein from her teen mom family has also sent a gift to Cheyenne to celebrate her pregnancy. And so I guess she wasn't able to show up for the baby shower in person, but can I ask, 3 babies in, you know, and you have a lot of money, baby showers, like, you know, I think when you're rich, is it just like a party sort of a thing? Like they're not really expecting gifts. Like, how does this kind of work? Are any of y'all rich? Or any of y'all like 3 kids deep, like, and thinking about like doing a baby shower for the 3rd or 4th? Like, how do y'all feel about this? I feel like this is kind of like a divisive topic, right? Cheyenne also told the magazine, I think all babies are a blessing. Sometimes we have to wait, and we definitely have to wait for this one because this is something they talked about on the show, struggles with fertility, conceiving. But once we found out that we were having a baby, we were so excited. To future moms, keep your head up and just know that there's always a bigger plan. And when you just kind of relax and sit and wait for God's plan, beautiful things can happen. So I think that's a beautiful message of encouragement that she's sharing with other women who might be going through their own fertility struggles and journeys right about now. Ramsterdam says, I always hope some people would take as much care of their kids as they do the baby shower and gender reveal, and same goes for weddings versus marriages. And you know what? It's a really good point. Sometimes for people, it's all about the visual, right? Versus the actual thing. But I do think that Cheyenne is very, very involved as a mom. And I do think that she does a really good job with Ryder. And honestly, I don't really know about Ace that much because he's so young and you don't really see him on the show that much. So I don't know, but I would imagine that it is the same. Kalia says, I don't think she had it yet. Both of them were snapping, but I don't think she actually went under yet. I do know it's this week. Okay, sorry. I thought that because he posted in his scrubs, right? Because I remember doing a video on this maybe like a couple weeks ago or something like that, maybe even a month ago. But he was in his scrubs, like they were next to the machine and stuff. So I really thought that was like a thing that, you know, they were doing that particular week. But thanks for the update. Shelby says not rich, but I'm pretty sure gifts are expected because their friends are rich too, but definitely a reason to gather and party, right? I think at that point, like if everybody's rich, like nobody's struggling, maybe it's not seen as tacky anymore because you're not asking people to kind of like overextend themselves, or you know what I mean? Like, because they're already rich, whatever, right? Shelby says, oh wait, sorry, that's what Shelby just said, right? Cherise says, as a person with a baby with a heart defect, the journey is not easy. My girl spent over a year, 414 days in the hospital dealing with it. Oof, I cannot even imagine. Consistently, Cherise, she had to stay the whole year. Oh my God. So sorry to hear that. That must have been absolutely just gut-wrenching for your family to go through. So sorry. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. Deshauna is not rich, but at that point, I would just ask for diapers, wipes, and formula, right? Just simple. You know, speaking of, my friend's baby is turning 1, and we're celebrating that this Saturday. I'm like, it's Pampers, right? Pampers are a good gift, or like diapers or something like that. What should I get? And it's a boy, by the way. We're celebrating her son's first birthday. What should I get for a 1-year-old baby? It's been so long since I celebrated a baby turning 1. Mary Judith says, we poor, we had to work. Baby showers is to tell your family and friends to help. That's what I'm thinking, right? Like, you know, help. But then typically when you have multiple kids, it's kind of like, okay, use the hand-me-downs or something like that, right? But then when it comes to the rich, I think for them, it's just let's party. We got all this money. Let's spend it. Let's get this baby designer things it doesn't need, sort of a thing, right? Clea says probably the cath procedure before the actual, okay. Do you work in the medical field? Because it feels like you're really knowledgeable about this. Like, yeah, it feels like I got a medical correspondent here and I'm loving it. Thank you. Storm says it was the test, but today is the open surgery. So today is Maya's day. Oh, guys, please, please, please keep Maya Wharton in your thoughts and prayers as she undergoes her surgery. Very, very sad stuff. I don't know. Like, I don't know how doctors even do it. How do you operate on such little hearts? They're so small. They're so small, you know? The whole year, her first year of life. Oh, Charisse, I can't even imagine. I'm so sorry. That must have been just brutal. Brutal. You know, as you're recovering too after going through the birthing process and just not being able to really fully bond with her, you know, outside of the hospital and having your family and friends bond with her too, like that. Like, oh God, just brutal. Winnie the Cat says Pampers, wipes, or gift cards are always good. FBI says savings, bond, and clothes, right? I'm really loving all of you guys' by the way, suggestions of gifts. Get that baby a gift and not diapers. Okay, what is it like? What do kids play with? Rattles? Are they, you know, on iPads at 1-year-olds? What are they on? I got my daughter's shoes, chunky knob puzzles. Oh, I love the puzzle idea. In diapers, wipes for her first birthday. I love the puzzle idea. Or like the books that pop out where they have the like the little textures and stuff. Deshauna says for any 1-year-old, I would get books, educational toys, etc. Okay, I love this. Thank y'all for all of these tips. Ashley, love your dog. Random, but I just found the YouTube app tells you how long you've been subbed to someone. I've been subscribed to you since September 2019. That is what? Oh God, hang on. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6 years ago. Isn't that crazy? 6 years. You're an OG, boo. Thanks for being here for so long. I don't, unfortunately. I watched her stories and explain layman's terms what is supposed to mean. Okay, I love that. Thank you for sharing here on the morning report, Kalia. Listen, their parents are going to kill me because listen, these are Parisian parents, meaning they live in an apartment. So anything loud, the parents and the neighbors are going to kill me. Ronnie says, a 1-year-old love blocks and chunky blocks and baby books. Okay, I love this, y'all. Y'all are hooking me up. Thank you. Because I really need to go and get something ASAP. I think I'll go tomorrow. Books are always good. Anything you loved as a kid growing up. For me, the places you'll go. Eloise must have. I used to love Eloise at the Plaza, Madeline, Anne of Green Gables, but I think I was a little bit older when I was watching these things or reading these things. Now, you guys, we are on to our final story of the day. How quickly the time flies. We have to talk about Love is Blind star Casey, who unfortunately has been the victim of some very, very serious DEATH threats. Okay, we're going to call them D threats. And I'm hoping that Netflix and the Love is Blind producers at Kinetic Content are taking this seriously and doing everything they can to protect her because this is truly unhinged. So she had to go on her Instagram and beg people for mercy. She says, listen, I understand I've made mistakes during my time on Love is Blind. However, there is far more to the heavily edited story than what is being aired. And I hope I can share my side soon. In the meantime, please leave my friends and family out of this negativity as they did not choose to be in this experiment. I did, and please stop with the D threats. My cat Chardonnay needs a mom. Isn't that so sad? And I think it's because she was not physically attracted to her fiance, right? Like, and it's so crazy how they always do this on the show. Like these people, they go, oh my God, I'm so in love with this person. I don't care what they look like. I just want to be with them. I want to marry them. I want to have their babies, all that stuff. But then they see these people, they go, well, maybe I was exaggerating. I don't want to be with you anymore, sort of a thing, right? And that's kind of what happened in her situation. And people are truly, truly unhappy about it. And I do think that there might be a little bit of a racial aspect there as well, because her fiance was of Asian descent. And unfortunately, historically, Asian men do have a harder time dating in the United States. And so I think that there's a certain level of hurt and rejection that certain people feel or projected onto him based off of their own shared background with him and whatnot, that is contributing to this very, very kind of like extreme reaction that she is receiving. And so I really do feel for her. Listen, at the end of the day, you like what you like, you don't what you don't. You can think you're open-minded, but that doesn't mean that you're willing to be with like just, you know, anybody, unfortunately, right? Sometimes just something about a person, whether it's just the way that they're, I don't know, they smile, the way they laugh, the way they walk, the way they, write, something like can just be just so off for you. And it's something that you cannot get past. And, you do see that play out in real time. And I always hate when that happens to these people because, people act like they're not allowed to change their minds and feel that way. And it's really, really unfair because we all go through that, right? In our dating journeys. Baby lotion, bats of plug. Ooh, I like that. Soap and toys. That's a really good idea as well. But it's true. The Portia, no, she's not dating Candy. She's dating a stud. She found herself a stud. I forgot what this girl's name is, but they were spotted together at an event. And I think it was filmed for the Real Housewives of Atlanta because I did see Angela there in the interaction and another housewife as well. And amen, FBI. I got to be careful with these loud toys, y'all. Ronnie says, Ashley, where did you find that? And look, Ashley gave you the info. She says, go to your YouTube channel, go to settings, manage history. Then top says interactions. Go there and it shows when you've subbed to everyone. I love that. Listen, even I don't know that information. So I'm excited to go and check that out as well. Shem says, this girl did some next level manipulation, child. She knew she wasn't attracted, but kept hugging and jumping up on him and kissing. Maybe she was trying to convince herself, right? She's like, oh, I'm not physically attracted to him, but maybe if I just keep forcing it, it'll happen. I don't know. Shem also said she was supposed to be honest with him. You have to see the interaction to understand the outrage. People shouldn't harass her though if they are doing that. And I really need to catch up. You know what I watched last night, y'all, at 11:30? Love is Blind France, the reunion. If you guys ever wondered what dating in Paris is like, or dating French men in general is like, watch Love is Blind France. There's this guy who was just so oh, I want to be married. My dream is to be a husband, a father. I want to be with you. He was so patient with this girl. She fell for him slowly and she had to work past a lot of things because he was not her initial type. And I said, girl, never force yourself to go for a man who's not your initial type. And don't tell him he's not your freaking type because guess what? He's going to play the long game with you. Wait for you to fall for him and then snub you, for his own ego. And that's exactly what happened, right? So they get married and she moves into his apartment, which is what they had agreed upon. And literally 30 days later, he goes, I don't want to be with you anymore, actually. I think you should leave. I left my nice apartment to come live with my husband. And you're telling, he's like, this is all happening so fast. And then the other guy who got married too, only two couples got married. The other one, same thing, right? Well, actually, I don't know. It feels like it was kind of fast getting married. You signed up for Love is Blind. They're so they'll change on a whim. Oh God, listen. Dating French men is not for the faint of heart. And so if you really want to have a good idea of what that's like, watch Love is Blind France. It's crazy. Mary says the girls are always so pretty. And I agree, on every single season, on every single city, country, the girls are always that way. And I feel like in general, it's typically that way anyway, right? And I think it's because there's so many things that women can do to be beautiful, or that we put in more effort typically. I don't know if it's just we prefer to, it's something we enjoy doing, or society just expects us to. There's so much pressure, right? So maybe that's it, right? And I agree, Mary, people should it's just TV. It's just TV, guys, don't take things too seriously. I'm sorry, Shem, listen, I'm going to go back and catch up on it. I think I'm only 2 episodes deep, so I do have to watch and see how it actually goes. But I'm trying to play devil's avocado. She might have been trying to go, okay, well, I'm a tactile person. If I try, maybe I'll get there. But, maybe I'm wrong. So I'm going to have to watch it and I'll come back to you and let you know what I think about the evolution of that relationship, okay? Mary Judith says, look, villains on reality shows are fun. You need to enjoy, watch, judge, and then don't think of this people until the next episode drops. Period. And I completely agree. I think a lot of people just, I don't know, maybe they don't have other things going on in life or something like that, but they take these things far too seriously and just too far in general. And it's a very scary thing. Listen, we all love reality TV so much. Stop scaring these people or we're no longer going to get these shows because no one will want to participate, right? To go through so much suffering and harassment. Anyway, you guys, listen. That does it for another episode of The Morning Report. I'm so happy that I got to chat with you guys yet again. You know what I'm going to be watching tonight? I'm actually really excited because I have to go get some dinner to prepare before we go to the movies. That Leonardo DiCaprio and Tiana Taylor movie. I'm going to be watching that tonight. So I'm really, really excited about that. Finally, and I'll let y'all know what I thought about it tomorrow. I hope some of you guys have watched it as well so that we could be able to kind of chat about it, okay? So take care, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk more about the day's hottest stories. Bye, guys.